Breaking news. See the outcome of President Muhammadu Buhari's meeting with the security chiefs over Endsar's protests. Following Nigerians, it has become necessary for me to address you, having heard from many concerned Nigerians and having concluded a meeting with all the security chiefs. I must warn those who have hijacked and misdirected the initial, genuine and well-intended protests of some of our youth in parts of the country against the excesses of some members of the now disbanded Special Anti-Robbery Squad, which is called SACS. On Monday, 12th of October, I acknowledged the genuine concerns and agitations of members of the public regarding the excessive use of force by some members of SACS. The choice to demonstrate peacefully is a fundamental right of citizens as enshrined in Section 40 of our Constitution and other enactments. But this right to protest also imposes on the demonstrators that the responsibility to respect the rights of the other citizens and the necessary to operate within the law. As a democratic government, we listened to and carefully evaluated the 5-point demands of the protesters, and having accepted them, we immediately scrapped SACS and put measures in place to address the other demands of the youth. On approving the termination of SACS, I already made it clear that it was in the line with our commitment to the implementation of extensive police reforms. Sadly, the promptness with which we have acted seems to have been misconstrued as a sign of weakness and twisted by some for their selfish, unpatriotic interests. The result of this is clear to all observers. Human lives have been lost. Acts of sexual violence have been reported as well. 2 major correctional facilities were attacked and convicts freed. Public and private properties completely destroyed or vandalized. The sanctity of the palace of a peacemaker, the Oba of Lagos, has been violated as well. So-called protesters have invaded an international airport, and the process disrupted the travel plans of the fellow Nigerians and our visitors. All this executed in the name of the Endsar protests. Why? I am indeed deeply pained that innocent lives have also been lost, President Muhammadu Buhari added. These strategies are uncalled for and unnecessary. Certainly, there is no way whatsoever to connect this bad act to legitimate expression of grievance of the youth of our country. The spreading of the deliberate falsehood and misinformation through the social media, in particular, that this government is oblivious to the pains and plight of these citizens. It is a plot to mislead the unwary within and outside Nigeria into unfair judgments and destructive behaviors. On the contrary, both our deeds and words have shown how committed this administration has been to the well-being and welfare of the citizens, even with the steadily dwindling revenues and the added responsibility and restrictions due to the COVID-19 pandemic. Governor has put in place measures and initiatives principally and targeted as youth, women, and the most vulnerable group of our society. This included our broad plan to lift 100 million Nigerians out of poverty in the next 10 years, the creation of 75 billion National Youth Investment Fund to provide opportunities for the youth and the micro, small and medium enterprises, survival fund through which government is paying 3-month salaries of the staff of 100,000 micro, small and minimum enterprises. B. Paying for the registration of 250,000 businesses at the Corporate Affairs Commission. C. Giving a grant of 30,000 to 100,000 artisans. D. Guaranteeing market for the product of traders. These are in addition to many other initiatives such as A. Farmer money, B. Trader money, C. Market money, D. N-Power, E. N-Tech, and F. N-Agro. No Nigerian government in the past has methodically and seriously approached poverty alleviation like we have done now. With regard to the welfare of the police personnel, the National Security, Income and Wages Commission has been directed to expand it, and the actions of the finalization of the new salary structure of members of the Nigerian police force, the emolument of other paramilitary services are also being reviewed upward in order to underscore the importance of education in preparing youth for the future. This administration has come up with a new salary structure and the other incentive for our teachers. Let me not take your time. Let me at this point reaffirm the federal government's commitment to preserving the unity of this country. We will continue to improve good governance and our democratic process, including through sustained engagement. We shall continue to ensure that liberty and freedom, as well as the fundamental rights of all citizens, are protected. But remember that government also has the obligation to protect lives and properties, as well as the right of citizens to go about their daily businesses freely and protected from acts of violence. To our neighbors in particular and members of the international community, many of whom have expressed concern about the ongoing development in Nigeria, we thank you all and urge you all to seek to know all the facts available before taking any position or rushing to judgment and making hasty announcements and pronouncements against the government. In the circumstances, I would like this channel no good though.